closed. And we will do. Okay, George, you ready? Thank you, George. All right, everyone, please be seated. This is the Tuesday, February 17, 2026 Monroe Planning Board regular meeting. Noreen, would you please do the roll call?
Here.
Sorry. Bob Garstock is absent. Jeff Manson.
Here.
Bonnie Franson.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, with that, we have a quorum so we can conduct business. I'd like to point out the fire exits. There are two in front of me to the rear of the audience. There is another, which is a main entrance that you all came in through to my left, and then another one out in this direction toward the patio. With that, let's please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. The first item on the agenda, we have a public hearing scheduled for 20 Owen Drive. So it is customary for us, upon the advice of our attorney, we normally do the neg deck before we open the public hearing.
Okay.
But instead, since that is not complete and there's some open items and you did already notice the public hearing, we are going to open it. We'll leave it open. At some point, we'll adopt a negative declaration and then close the public hearing.
Main door.
Is the SHPO letter the only item missing from the?
I'll go through it. I have a
Okay.
draft just
No
to
problem.
make sure we've covered everything.
Sure.
So do you have the public notices and the receipts for Noreen?
I gave it to him.
Okay. So why don't you provide an overview for the benefit of the public?
Sure. So, Joel Mann, Braham and Associates, on behalf of the applicant, we proposed the three-lot subdivision on 20 Owen Drive. It's section 3, block 1, lot 9.1. It's, we have multiple meetings on that project, and one of the biggest concerns was about the access, and what everyone was in agreement that to connect the access point to the three lots from the existing Smith Farm project, and it should be part of the road, will be part of that HOA. We provided all grading and all utilities. It's the proposal is to connect to the existing sewer main that's next to the property and drill individual wells on the three lots. With that, if there's any major concerns from the public, I'm here to address this.
I'm going to formally open the public hearing. Would someone make a motion to do so?
I'll move that we open the public hearing for the application for 20 Owen Drive.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
Bonnie Franson.
Aye.
Jeff Manson.
Aye.
Curtis Kimbrough.
Aye.
Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to 20 Owen Drive? Yes, why don't you come on up and you'll state your name for the record. Oh, so you can go
Yes.
to the podium,
Go to the
yes, one at
podium.
a time.
Jolie, you can stay at the table.
You can, hi, you can state your name for the record and where you reside.
Rose Eigenlob, 500 High Street.
That's 500 High Street?
Yes.
Thank
Can you
you.
spell the last name, please?
Eigenlaub.
Thank you.
Okay. I know this is going to happen no matter what, so. My concern personally is the possible construction vehicle traffic accessing Owen via High Street. When that very large home was constructed at the very top of the community behind High Street, we got all their construction vehicles going through our street. 5-axle vehicles, dump trucks, regular construction vehicles, contracting vehicles. It was disruptive. It was dangerous, I think, because it was during the nicer weather when children are outside playing. We have a lot of children in the neighborhood. Also, the part of High Street between Gilbert Street and Owen is hilly and very curvy. So I think that, promotes a danger to the residents who, are trying to pull out of their driveways or whatever. So that is my concern. So I was kind of hoping maybe they could access Owen by going through the Orthodox community and...
Smith Farm.
Pardon me?
Smith Farm.
Smith Farm, I'm sorry. Yes, by going through the Smith Farm development, because I believe that's where the houses will be, right where it connects with Owen.
Yes.
So I think that's a possibility. And there's a lot of children in that development, so care should be taken with, speeding vehicles going through that neighborhood as well. I'm not just concerned for us, I'm concerned for everybody. We have speeding school buses, not Monroe Woodbury, other school buses that don't follow the traffic laws, speed laws. So there's a lot to consider. But
Thank you for that.
That's my concern.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to come up to speak?
Hi, my name is Liz Battiato. I'm 515 High Street, Monroe, New York. And my question was about the access. I know that he mentioned that when he first spoke, but I didn't hear the answer to that. Where are they going to be coming in and out?
From Smith Farm Development.
So off of Gilbert Street.
So the proposal is that these 3 new dwellings are going to get connected to the road system with Smith Farm, and there's going to be an emergency gate that's going to be installed that will be closed so that vehicles, whether permanent or, we'll have to talk about construction, but permanent vehicles will not be able to go down into the village.
Okay, I'm not understanding you. So you're saying their main entrance is off of Gilbert Street, where the main entrance to the Smith Farm properties
Correct. They're going
are.
to be accessing through the Smith Farm development.
Off of Gilbert.
Correct.
And then the emergency gate is going where?
So it's on the plan. I'm going to blow it up a little bit here. So it would be located, this is the emergency access gate. It's kind of where several driveways come in.
It's at the top of Owen Drive?
At the top of 420?
Yes, yes,
Is that
before
right?
20.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's only going to be used for emergencies.
Correct. And so we're also aware, I think that the gate I think there was supposed to be a gate there, and I believe it was actually left open. So that's something we're going to have to address to make sure that's not the same situation that occurs here. But essentially, this will be directed toward the Smith Farm subdivision and away from Owen and the village.
And is there a plan to keep a tree line between the existing houses on High Street that these would back up to?
So we did make some modifications. One of the things that's happening is they do have to put stormwater management basins in, which results in tree clearing. One of the things we do have to get from the applicant is what is being removed and the landscaping plan. We have a landscape architect that reviews the plans, and I don't believe we have final sign-off from CALA at this point.
No.
right.
Yeah.
So,
I know the typical MO here is clear
clear
cutting.
cut, right, and we
that's a
actually have,
concern.
yeah, we've actually attempted to somehow get them to minimize what they're doing so that we can retain some trees, but we don't have all the data yet.
So the main corner is staying the main corner, you can see on the tree plan, is staying vegetated where it meets about 3 houses.
Okay?
There is
Can you
one,
show me where that is on here?
I'm gonna,
if you go on the
let me,
page 11,
these are the trees, these are the larger diameter trees. I don't know that they're every tree. So where,
so you can see this corner.
Stay on the mic.
You can see this corner here.
so, can you see my, yes.
Those trees are staying, all of these are going?
Some of them are. What you do see are some limits of disturbance here. So see this line? That is that an erosion control? Yes. Okay. So this corner here, actually, is what will be, I believe this is staying.
Yes.
And these will all be going.
And this little
Which is my
corner
total
will
backyard.
stay. This looks like it is going. However, we are having our landscape architect take a look at this to see what can be installed as well as what can still be retained.
Okay, we're talking about this area and this area right here.
That's your concern?
Yes.
And
Okay.
over here, yeah.
Yeah.
So adjoining,
From here to here.
okay. So you're concerned about by Drake, Pollock, Salvati? Okay. Just
can't
wanted
hear
to,
any of this
we
without
have
a
to
mic.
have you on the mic because this gets recorded, we do minutes, just so we can't hear you. Our secretary won't be able to put the minutes together, thank you.
Okay, so yes, the concern was the property behind Salvati and Drake for sure.
Okay,
If the tree line was staying there. And if we understand correctly, the property behind Oliveri, the trees will be staying.
that is my understanding in here.
Because there's a house behind there.
That's
The,
good.
the house is being demolished.
So,
Yeah, they're taking
yes,
down that
I know
house
they're
and
taking
putting
down the
3
house.
new ones.
Okay, so first of all, one at a time.
okay.
So I need your-
I'm Laura Salvati.
Okay,
So I'm concerned because my backyard is all trees. And from my understanding is they weren't allowed to take down those trees for a certain amount of distance from my rock wall. And now my understanding is they're taking them all down?
well, they can't take down, you're referring to the trees on their property.
Yes.
Yes.
So there is nothing, to my knowledge, limiting taking down trees.
So-
But there may be tree plantings that are put in. And again, we need to have our landscape architect take a final look at this and see if we can further get some additional tree preservation.
So who decides that? I mean, we know their MO is clear cut everything.
The
Can you
planning
force
board.
them
The planning
to
board will.
to plant trees?
Yes.
You can.
But I don't understand that.
Sorry, you're going to have to state your name for the record
Donna
and your
Oli-
address.
Donna Oliveri.
Okay.
I don't understand. Those homes were just built that are back there. So they're coming down already?
No, just the one house behind my house.
Owen's house.
Oh, that's an office or whatever
Yeah,
you
that's the
said.
office.
Yes.
But those other homes are staying there.
The new ones, yeah.
Yes. Because as far as I'm concerned, where my fence is, and I'm sorry, I lost my husband to COVID, so I'm basically on my own. I think we have more property beyond what the fence is. But we just chose to build it up and just keep it within the quarters that was not going to be too much backyard.
So we'll take a look at that. This does show a line here that I believe is supposed to be a fence in here.
I have a fence, yes. My
Oh.
fence, you speaking?
Well, they wouldn't necessarily have surveyed the fence on your property, but they're showing a fence, I believe, in this area,
In what?
which is on the Owen property. That's a fence?
Yes, based on the,
That's probably what that line is.
So I really will not be affected?
As shown, that quadrant, that corner here is not proposed to be disturbed.
Okay, and those trees that are back there as of now will stay?
That's what is proposed, yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay?
That's fine.
I have another question, because the Salvati Drake property is being most affected. So those trees that are in my backyard, they're gonna build a house right in my backyard, pretty much.
So the house is going to be, let me show you the plan here. So you can see the name Salvati. So this is the proposed location of the dwelling,
Lost the second
of the
monitor.
dwelling. And again, if you're going to speak, need to be on the mic,
Okay,
please.
so what do you mean by the dwelling? It's a
house.
single-family house?
A house.
It's not,
It's a house, a single-family dwelling.
okay, and how far from my property line is the house gonna be?
Right now, it's proposed to be, let me see if I have a scale on this.
Like just over 30 feet?
30 feet, yeah.
So 30 feet from my property line, so they're gonna be in my backyard, pretty much. Yeah. So all those trees behind my rock wall, which is not my property, are gonna be taken down, and a house is gonna be put up 30 feet from my rock wall. Is that correct?
It's about 30 feet. Sorry, I was just measuring. That's the way it's proposed at this point in time.
Okay, well, I've lived in Monroe for almost 30 years and have had this wonderful house with this wonderful backyard, privacy, and now it's almost like they're in my backyard.
So where is your house in general?
This is my house here.
Is it, how far is it from the stone wall, would you say?
From the stone wall? How far? 50 feet. Like 50 feet, yeah.
Noreen said, ask the speakers to come over and make sure their names are spelled correctly.
That looked funny. I didn't get you.
Right here? Yes, that's as designed at this time. So this is the purpose of getting public comment.
And
Oh,
there's
this is
gonna
all-
be no trees between that house and myself.
That's something we have to work out and determine whether we can add screening there.
Well,
And so it's with the landscape architect. We have to get their recommendations and see.
okay, is
what
that
can be
gonna
done.
be worked out before the construction starts?
That
Or
has to be worked out as part of this process.
Because, like Rosie said, the construction vehicles, we just had that road paved. And now we have all these trucks coming up and down High Street, onto Owen, up into that neighborhood, to the back road. Why can't they go into the main road instead of coming up High Street?
So I would just say that my understanding is there was supposed to be a gate there, and it is supposed to be closed, and I don't know why they're coming up that way.
Okay, there was a gate there at one point, but it's not there anymore.
So
And there's-
I would call the town, the building department, and file a complaint. And you should also file a complaint with the Village of Monroe.
Yes, absolutely.
That's town property.
Because they,
You can
know,
still file a complaint with the village,
To go
just to,
into Smith Farm, all these signs, private property, video recorded, but they can come through our neighborhood at any time and go through the back way.
Yeah.
And
I think
like-
it'd be useful for you to contact the building department, and you can always go to a town board meeting too, if you have concerns, but especially to file it with the building department.
I mean, I have a lot of concerns.
Because my recollection was it's supposed to be gated. And that isn't anything that this applicant is responsible for. It's part of the Smith Farm development.
Isn't that why we're here?
Right,
mean,
that is
why-
why you're here.
why do we
Because
have to go a step
this is why
further?
we have a public hearing.
Right.
But we're not enforcement. We're
No, we
reviewing
know
this
you're not.
development application. We don't enforce. That's why you have to reach out to the building department, because they enforce the plans and the development after it comes through our process.
But will us being here this evening be
Yes, this helps.
recorded and
Of course.
let them know
This is the whole-
what our concerns
Right,
are,
that's-
so that we just don't,
That's the whole point of this
But
process.
so where does our voice go from here? Like,
Yeah, what
us
is the
being
next
here,
step?
So-
where does this go?
So you're speaking directly to the people who, took me a long time to understand when I first got on the planning board, what our role is. So let me try and help you understand that a little bit. Essentially, we're looking at two things. We're looking at, does a proposed project fit within what's allowed in Monroe or not? And and then from that, how do we work with the applicant to make that the best possible plan? So that's sort of our role. Your part here tonight, by letting us know your concerns, tells us what do we have to pay attention as we're working towards a possible approval here, so that we can do the best job under the code for the town and for the neighbors. So yes, too often people don't avail themselves of this opportunity, and we may not have the insight into what's happening in your little piece of the town. You're here giving that to us, and it's very much appreciated. It's very much necessary, and yes, we very much listen to it. Keep in mind, ultimately, we're beholden to administering the code. As Bonnie said, we're not enforcement, we're administrators.
So is this property zoned currently for what they would like to do?
Yes,
Okay, so it is within the zoning.
yes.
So we gave our concerns. Your next step is?
So the process is left open. The applicant will have to review the comments, we'll review the comments, we'll see what adjustments can be made to mitigate the concerns that you have.
And
And
then-
so this is an iterative process.
And then will we be notified of what's going to
So-
happen further, or is it just gonna happen?
So you will hear this evening that we will adjourn the meeting to another date. That will be your notification. So when
we
we
won't get a new
adjourn,
letter.
when we adjourn to a date certain, you don't get another notice. Just please
You
pay
will.
attention to the agendas, and then you'll hear us say what the meeting will be to which this is adjourned.
Okay, so can I look at the map one more time, because one of our other neighbors was not here to show her?
Hi, sorry. My name is Barbara Benju. I reside at 505 High Street in Monroe. Okay.
Only one at a time, please.
Where are the trees that they were not going to take down? Yeah, I don't think it's your house, it's mine and Liz. So here. So these are all gonna stay. Here's you, here's Donna. Here's me, here's Liz. These are all gonna be taken down. So it's behind my house and Liz's house.
Then what's going to be here?
Trees.
There's a path in here.
Here.
Is that path staying?
You need to be on the
To
mic.
be on
sorry.
the mic.
There's a path in the back of our homes, a dirt road, leading all the way down to Gilbert Street. does this, are these homes going to go beyond that towards us, or is that path going to remain?
I'm not sure which
Barbara,
path.
so does that run through your property and your neighbor's property, or does that run, it runs through the
Behind
property
my
behind?
property. I've lived here 48 years. I've had privacy, and I'm upset that it's not going to be private anymore.
Could you maybe show her the picture where the three houses are actually going?
No, stand up, you're fine. I'm a lot taller than you, don't worry about it. So lot one is behind me. It's not even. It's me.
Lot one, lot two.
So where, here I am, let me ask, can you tell me where that house is, where the office is now, that's gonna be taken down?
It should be right here, because it's right in back of my house.
Yeah, it's on
It's right
page,
back of my
page two,
house. You look out my backyard.
page one.
Is it here? That's before, without anything happening. This is the existing.
No, they moved.
Can you move this up a little so we can see whose property that is on?
Yeah, here, right in back
Okay,
of my house.
so this is gonna be, I'm sorry. This is gonna be lot one, where that house is?
Is this lot one?
No, that's,
It's
that house
divided.
is sort of on the line between 1 and 2. I mean, 2 and 3.
So one is actually behind my house.
Correct.
Is that
And then
office
two and
building?
three goes this way.
Yes,
Go to
goes
the
that way,
back,
to the
go
right,
page
behind
one.
you and Donna.
You can see the three houses without the topo.
Yes, so lot one is between me and you.
Yeah,
Lot two is between you and Donna.
yeah, and lot
And
three
lot
is
three
over
is-
that way. So it's, yeah, and
So let me ask you a question. I see lot one. It goes by the diagonal lines, correct? Okay.
That's where the house,
Oh, so it goes through my whole property.
that's the house? Okay. So the house is like directly behind you?
Directly
almost.
behind me.
Yeah, like behind your shed.
But this is where I am, so it's diagonal?
Correct.
Yeah, but you guys have. These are the lot lines. Right behind my house, 30 feet from the rock wall. 30 feet from my rock wall, here is the house.
I'm trying to get, I want to measure something here for you.
from my house too then.
No.
Here's your,
So is it, who is Benju?
And she was right here, Barbara.
Okay, so,
Oh, jeez.
too many of you up there.
Barbara, I'm sorry. We do need to have you on the microphone because we have to have, we,
No, I don't need that.
actually, that's what you're here for.
So your property line is about 125 feet away from the back of the house.
You're 125.
Yours, if you're Benju? Okay.
And Salvati is 30 feet.
And Salvati is the one that's closest to all the development.
And I'm at Olivieri.
Oliveri is about, so you're about 150
So I'm the one screwed.
to one of the homes, and then you're another,
No,
Driveway.
thank God.
you're
Are there
about-
any-
You're about 200 from the other one.
Are
You're-
there
You're
any,
between 150 to 200 away from the two houses there
From the house that's
that are kind of behind you.
going to be taken down.
Yes. The new houses that go in,
They really want to have my voice? Okay, yes.
So there's three houses that are going in, correct?
correct,
And the closest one is to my property, 30 feet from my rock wall.
correct.
And no trees to divide Or that hasn't been decided
Or
yet?
the landscaping plan still has to be worked out.
So I know this before the construction starts.
Again, that landscaping plan, that has to be put in place before we even approve it.
And I will be notified of that.
You should come to the public hearing so you see how the project advances.
I absolutely
Are we
will.
putting the plans on the web? And the plans are on the website.
Well, go ahead.
This property is already owned,
Correct.
so then this is, over.
They
It's a
have,
done deal is what I'm
it's been
saying.
purchased.
Okay.
They are proposing to develop it. They are doing it in accordance with the zoning. The part of this whole process is to listen to your comments and see the extent to which it can be adjusted to address any concerns you have.
But why did we get certified letters then if this is really a done deal?
No, you're getting certified letters to be able to communicate with us at a public hearing what your concerns are. It's not a done deal. This is just what the applicant is proposing at this time.
I have a question about the drainage that would be behind the Drake property.
On which property?
The
Yeah.
Drake property.
Okay.
We currently have huge water issues already with groundwater flooding basements in this area. So adding that retention pond or whatever it may be for drainage is very concerning to me.
So our engineer is here that's reviewing all the stormwater. Is that a basin that's going to hold water? What's the purpose of that basin?
No, the purpose of that basin is treatment of runoff from the extension of the road that will serve the three, or that's proposed to serve the three dwellings. You'll see on the upper side of it, there's a series of pipes and catch basins that will collect that water, discharge it to the basin. It's then filtered through the bottom of the basin. There's an under drain, and it'll be collected and discharged behind the house on Lot 1. And then a swale will convey it across the back of Lot 2 to another pond behind Lot 3. That pond detains the water and releases it over approximately 24 hours. It then gets discharged, I guess, about where your cursor is, and will be conveyed through the Smith Farm drainage system.
So do we
down-
have any, I'm sorry, do we have any recourse if we notice that there is more water issues with the basements once this is put in?
Well, we evaluate it now so that there aren't issues. So, again, this is part of the public hearing process. So you're saying you have water issues now coming through?
And all of these houses have water in the basement, all of them. And we're on the top of the hill, yet we all,
Yeah, it's all coming down probably from the hill toward your basements.
messing with it even more is concerning.
If I
But
may,
what the applicant submits as part of this procedure is a document called a SWIP, the Stormwater Pollution Prevention Plan. Part of that analysis requires them to evaluate the existing quantity and volume of stormwater runoff from their property, and then evaluate it under the post-developed conditions to demonstrate that there's no increase in the amount of runoff that leaves their property. So that's been submitted and reviewed. That's also submitted to DEC as part of their stormwater management program.
Okay, we can understand if they're going to evaluate it, but if it gets worse after these dwellings are built, what is, who do you contact, and who is going to be
You would-
responsible for that? That now you have 2 feet more water in your house. You have 3 feet more water in your house. Like, it's being evaluated, we understand that, everything gets evaluated, but who's responsible for that then?
That would be something that you would go again to the town for, town enforcement. Again, I
We
think
do
this
have
is,
a work
this
cut out
is,
for us.
this is a fact-finding process. This is us getting a sense of, because we don't know your properties, you know your properties best. So we need to hear what concerns you have, so again, through this process, we can address it.
And what is the anticipated date of this construction?
There is none at this point.
Soon it will.
We have to get through this process.
I can't hear you.
We are waiting to finish first the planning board process. When this planning board process will be finished and approved, then we'll schedule the
So that
construction.
then, before this is
So
approved.
they have to get whatever permits and approvals are required. So we have to sign the final plans. They have to put into
file it.
place the stormwater controls before they even construct the houses. They have to construct the houses. They need to get a building permits from the town. So this isn't happening tomorrow.
Okay, and will there be another town board meeting that we can attend before?
Another planning board meeting?
Yeah, another planning
Yes,
board
because
meeting.
this public hearing is being continued. So at the end of listening to you, we will indicate what will be the next meeting that this will be continued to. That's going to be your notice of when we will take this up again. Okay?
But our homes, we're the village board. So where do our homes come into all of this? Because we...
Your neighbors, it doesn't matter if you're in the village or the town. You're the public, you would join the property. It doesn't matter that it's in the village or the
No,
town.
but our village board should be standing behind us, should they not?
Well, you would need to inform your village board, but you should be aware,
Inform the village board, they don't know about this?
the village board and the attorney do know about this because we've asked that the applicant make sure of what the applicant's requesting.
Plus, we had 2 joint meetings with them, so. And
Yeah,
we
they-
notified them everything. We circulated the plans to them.
That's just an internal working session. It wasn't it's not a public meeting. But just to keep that in front of them, you can always go to your village to let them know about your concerns.
Yeah, but I don't understand.
But we do, we
go
have
to the
communicated them.
village?
Well, that's up to you if you want
Right.
to talk to the village and let them know your concerns.
Concerns, right.
But this is in front of our board. This is a
Right.
public hearing, and that's why you're letting us know.
Right.
This is in the village.
That's the town of
The town of
Monroe.
Monroe.
This is the Monroe, we're the town planning board.
I didn't know that's the town. That's the
So this this property is in the town adjoining the village.
Right.
Exactly. Any other questions, ladies? Okay,
have another
we're going to
question.
continue. We have questions about the development ourselves, so.
Yeah. I have another question, but I don't know if it really deals with this board. But the Pep Boys in Chester,
Nope, doesn't involve our
that
board.
doesn't involve you?
No.
Okay, because I'm hearing that went through.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. That's Chester. And we have expressed some concerns on behalf of the town about it, but that's Chester.
Yeah, I just don't know what the chain of command is. Who do we go to?
Yeah, no, you would, yeah,
Okay.
that's
So
not us.
that's not really, we have no say in that. It's really more the Chester.
We, the planning board, don't.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay? Are we good for now? And again, we're going to continue the public hearing, so if you have comments or concerns or questions, you can also email the planning board office and submit it in writing as well. So we're going to continue to discuss this, but we're going to adjourn the public hearing for the moment and adjourn it to, what is our next meeting date?
It's St. Patrick's Day
Yeah, that's
is the next meeting.
Okay.
March
St.
17th?
Patrick's Day.
So, I will make a motion that we
If-
adjourn the public hearing.
If I may,
Sure.
just, I think, to address just in short words, the concern from the neighbors and try, hopefully, to make them feel a little bit more comfortable. So I got the concerns. One is about the construction vehicles, and again, we are ready to commit to that the same way as the main access will be through Smith Farm, the construction vehicles will also go through Smith Farm. Smith Farm is still a construction zone too, probably for the next couple of years at that top portion, so I don't see any issue with that. So
And
that's-
again, we need to contact Smith Farm because someone took the gate down.
I already sent them a notice that
Okay.
they should take care ASAP on that, and I will be on top of that too. Number two, regarding the concern about the houses being like probably like you said, we're waiting for comments from the landscaping architect. I'm ready to work with the neighbors or with the planning board, whatever we need input to make sure that we have enough screening between their houses and this other houses. And I just want to point out again, this is just a single family house. So it's not like we're putting up a multifamily house, but even though we're ready to put screening and to make sure that they are getting satisfied. And
Are
any other-
these actual footprints? Or were
Yes,
these?
it's based on a floor plan, yes.
Okay, so it is, all
Yes.
right. I think we'd want to explore whether the house on Lot 1 can be pushed back in any way.
The problem why it ended up this way is to avoid the retaining wall. We have to put the house lower, so we had to push the drive, so we had to make a longer driveway in order to pick up on the grade. If you remember, and originally we had the house more up on the hill, but we had the retaining wall in the back that the planning board didn't like. So in order to avoid to avoid the retaining wall, we had to bring down the house. So we have a roadway, I don't remember the percentage, I think it's a maximum of 10% down for the driveway to go down. So that's the reason the house is further away from the road and it's positioned that way. Otherwise,
Well, definitely, we need to look at this one again to see either the design of the building itself or how and in what way we can perhaps, again, push it back a
what I
bit
will
more.
try to do, I will try to do another option to straighten back the house up and see if we need a retaining wall, propose that, and then it will be up to the planning board
Or
to see
a
both
more,
options.
or a more terrain adaptive house that's built a little bit more into the hillside.
There's a problem because the height calculations is very restrictive.
That's
from
true.
that.
You'd have to put,
That's
yeah,
my problem.
all right. So I want to continue, I'm just going to adjourn, we'll continue to talk.
Sure, yeah.
So I would like to make a motion that we adjourn this public hearing to March 17th, 2026 at 6:30 PM or as soon thereafter. May I have a second?
Second.
Noreen?
Bonnie Franson,
Aye.
Jeff Manson,
Aye.
Curtis Krimbo.
Aye.
Okay, so that's your notice, March 17th at 6:30, this is continued. So now we're just out of the public hearing, we're going to continue to communicate on other matters related to this. If you're welcome to stick around, you're welcome to leave, but we're continuing our discussion. So, Matt, you had a memo for this?
Yeah, a brief comment memo, and actually we've touched on most of these things through the comments.
One of them?
We have received a tree plan. It's out to Karen for review.
Okay,
I'll reach out to her tomorrow and also mention the discussions tonight and some of the concerns to pay extra attention to. That was comment 2. And similarly, comment 4, I think the last time the applicant was here, we did discuss landscaping around the basin on Lot 1. So I think based upon some of the feedback you received tonight, we'll probably want to look at enhancing that as well. So maybe when Joel looks at some options for the house configuration on that lot, he can keep landscaping in that area and around Basin 1 in mind.
I don't know if we can push that swale a little, I mean, part of it is the stormwater basin outlet is discharging, and it's pretty close to the property line as well, and just kind of going across. I don't know if there's any way to, again, move it, or how to address it.
Might be tough to move, but we can look at some options as to how that's conveyed so that that space is available for potential landscaping as well.
At least the way it's designed is not better than the existing conditions, they will be more protected from the new grading plan and the stormwater design with the swale than the existing conditions, I believe so.
Swale is just like a riprap swale, right? So doesn't it still percolate into the ground?
Potentially can, but usually when water's in a swale, especially if it's pitched,
Yeah.
it's moving and doesn't have as much time. You know, if you slow the velocity down and give it time then to percolate in, it will. So we can look at that. It may be best in that case to pipe it.
I think, so with the swale, is the swale intended to capture any of the runoff from the 3 lots, or it's mostly conveying the runoff from the basin on lot 1?
It's primarily conveying the runoff from the basin, but it's also then intercepting and collecting anything from the back of the house on lot 1 and directing it over to the basin on lot 3.
So we'll examine that a little bit more.
We'll make sure to have Joe Fowl also at the next meeting. If there's some, maybe, like you said, piping it, add some catch basins.
At least past, I think, where it's farther away from the house.
I understand.
You know, I think maybe at least piping for a little bit until it gets away from the houses,
Right.
perhaps.
Sure. And Joe and I can get on a call and go through that, you know, pull the
Perfect.
plan up and walk through it.
I would like to see some kind of demarcation for the area where the trees will not be disturbed, because there is just a tendency that, you know, but if we had something there as a reminder, a visual reminder, to not cut that area in some way, that would be beneficial. So let me just bring up my comments, and then I will turn to my colleagues. In looking over the plans, at some point we said the HOA document for Smith Farm has to be revised to accept the 3 lots, so that's going to need to be done.
We already had some letter from them, but
Yeah,
we're waiting. Once we have the details, we need to have more details and a more final form of the plan to be able to revise
okay.
the documents.
And then the tree felling plan, we already just touched upon this. Cal is going to take a look at that. The whole emergency services, so if we're going to put the gate there, then do they need a lock? What do they need between the village and the town? What do they need as far as that emergency gate in the event of an emergency? Is it designed, or have we talked to them, the fire department?
I don't know if there's been communication yet with the fire department. I would assume that at some point with Smith Farm, that discussion was had with the gate that's supposed to be there. But it's probably a good idea to have that conversation again, you know, maybe with some experience with those now, maybe opinions have changed on what would be most appropriate for that. So probably circulating the plan back to those departments and asking for some input on what they would prefer. You know, I've heard several different things in different municipalities on what they prefer. Some of them just say a pair of bolt cutters.
Yeah.
I have
But
this
they can make that call.
Yeah, I
and,
think we just
inform us.
need to touch base with
I
them.
have this as a comment from last meeting, but now, as the concern of the neighbors, it got more important. So
Yeah,
we'll take care of that.
so that was still open, and then I saw that a consultation project with SHPO had been opened.
Okay.
It's probably when the SWIP was submitted, you have to have some consultation with SHPO.
Correct, yep.
So it looks like it was open, it looks like it was opened in 2026, so I'm sure we'll hear from them.
He just called me back, Joe, but couldn't pick up in the middle of the meeting, so
Okay,
I will get the input from him. And
okay. And then just whatever materials are being sent to them, please send to us, so that we have it for the neg deck.
Okay.
Okay, just a few more, hold on a sec. So, one is, were you gonna show us any architecturals or exteriors? I remember you sending us something
I
for the
did in
profile, right?
I did at the beginning, but I can submit that.
Yeah, if you
you.
could do that, just so that we have it again in front of us,
Sure.
because it's been a while. And then, For another project, so this is involving the water supply. For another project, the applicant's engineer had provided a signed and sealed letter stating the water supply is adequate. So I think we'd be good to have the same thing for this one.
Yes, what was submitted, the existing well was tested. It showed a yield of about 6 gallons per minute, I think, with a drawdown of less than 10 feet. I think maybe the iron and manganese levels were high in it, so they'll probably want to put in individual, depending upon the wells that are actually drilled, they may want to end up with some type of filtration system so they don't have stained laundry or whatever. But yeah, if Joe could just provide a letter indicating that the results indicate that wells capable of supporting single-family dwellings were achieved.
I didn't look, but just make sure there's a note for the typical bat note for tree clearing, because this isn't an area with the Indiana bat and the northern long-eared bat, so we'll need that tree cutting restriction. So those were my comments at this point. Jeff, Curtis?
In relation to the tree plan on sheet 11, some things that I would find helpful would be on some of the other plans we've received when they're doing a tree plan. Although I see that you have a table that tells us what trees are being removed, it's sort of illustrative if the trees that are being planned on remove have an X or a mark over them, so we can easily look at which trees are going or plan to go and which are not, particularly important near the limits of disturbance. I'd like to see some kind of a table that gave us a breakdown of the total numbers too. That's something we're going to have to consider in relation to the tree plan law. Total trees, the number of trees that are going to be removed, what's going to be remaining, how many trees are proposed to be replaced. That may all be in the landscaping plan that is in front of Karen, but I don't recall having seen that yet.
I don't think we've received any landscaping plan.
No,
Okay.
No.
So all we have is the tree plan at this
just
point.
the tree plan, and we're waiting for input. Based on that, we will
Yeah.
create a landscape plan.
But I think to Jeff's point, right now, the table says which ones are being removed.
Right, you need a better thing.
Yeah, if they could exit, it's just
Sure, no problem,
easier to see and confirm. And then to have the totals,
totals.
because our fees are based on the totals.
Right.
I have no comment.
That's the only thing I have.
Okay,
I think we have homework,
what, yes.
okay? So we will see you then again, March 17th, 2026. We'll continue the public hearing, and then you'll make whatever revisions you can.
So the sooner I can get the input from Karen, the sooner I can try to
Yes,
prepare
yeah.
something for the next public hearing to hopefully to make the neighbors happy.
Yeah, and then maybe between Joe and Matt, we could figure something out with that lot 1.
Okay.
Because there's a lot stuffed on it, and that's the one that's closest, so.
Sure,
All right,
thank you very much.
thank you.
Not
And
sure,
half the agenda tonight, I don't know
Yeah.
why you're getting up.
I think if you don't have a problem to change the agenda, the next is 249, it's just myself. But the KJ Cemetery have other people here, so it will be just, I don't want to hold them up.
So you're 249,
Yes,
and you're KJ.
yes,
So you'd like KJ Cemetery to be next?
correct.
We could do that for you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, so next item on the agenda is KJ Cemetery. This had been in front of us preliminarily, hadn't it?
What?
Wasn't this in front of us
Yes.
very preliminarily? Yeah.
Yes. There was, it was for preliminary, there was a lot of questions, and the biggest thing was to get an updated survey of the area that took a couple months. It's
That's
a
right.
lot of work here. You can see on the updated survey that we have. So we provided that. Then we tried to address the comments as much as possible. Again, we didn't went into all the details, just to make sure that we have the, just 1 second. So this is proposed and this is a existing condition building in section 1, block 2, lot 29, for the use of garage and maintenance for the cemetery use. There is a bus parking lot next to it. Part of the garage was at one point used for the buses too, and we said that's stopped. So this building will be used, the offices, everything is being used for the cemetery. It's an accessory to the cemetery. We have the comments from MHE, and there was not probably also just preliminary comments, and we tried to address that as much possible. Some lighting plans, and a little bit about the zoning code. There is one item that was I know it was submitted today, but I'm not sure if we want to get to this first or get to the technicals, so.
Yeah, we had received a letter regarding seeker,
Correct.
and that if we're going to do coordinated review, that we coordinate with the Village of Curious Joel, which we can do. I don't know that we're ready to start circulation tonight. I think we just want to get a sense, at least from our engineer, whether there's sufficient detail to start that process.
Okay. Well, the question will be, since the big.
Let's just back up, I'm sorry, back
Yeah.
up a moment. Okay, so why are we here again? There was a violation, wasn't there?
There was a violation on a building that was built at the boundary line from the village and the town on the cemetery property.
And that was, I think, no one knew it was built
Yes,
in the
exactly.
town. So then it was, lo and behold, it turns out it's in the town. And so that's how the violation occurred.
The violation occurred.
Okay.
And then I got involved in that to try to settle this and hopefully bring this to an end. So in the same time, speaking to the village of KJ Planning Board, they put their interest, since the majority of the property is in their jurisdiction. They were ready to declare themselves the lead agency to be on this. Again, I don't want to fall into a conflict there, but if that's something that the board can, so they will work together with this board on that. They will be the lead agency to approve that.
So I thought that the letter we received was that you wanted the town to be the lead agency. Did I misunderstood that? Or misunderstand that?
Yes.
Yeah, I think our letter body was just saying.
Okay.
In addition to actions proposed within town of Monroe, undertaking actions in KJ, to ensure that the project properly reviewed, that no party would later claim environmental revision properly.
I think we're just saying to initiate the coordinated review. They just want to make sure that it's done holistically.
Okay, but has the Village of KJ already started?
No, I have an application in, but they didn't act yet.
Okay, and when are they meeting?
I need to check because the chair was out, so they had some conflicts, probably in the beginning of March.
So what has to be done there?
Nothing made. So that's the question. Again, since this is something, it's no one's backyard. I don't think there's going to be any public. I hope that people will not stand up and call.
I know, I remember you saying the last time.
For the board is.
That was your joke last time, too.
Yeah, I don't want to make it overcomplicated. Again, if we can streamline something simple and keep it low, I think we don't have a big deal who is the lead agency. Again, let's be open, and I know the building inspector was involved there. This is a non-profit organization. There's no money on it. They were forced because of the violation to get into this process. Again, you have the law is law. We need to follow that. No one has complaining about that. But again, we want to try to simplify that. The access to the project is from a KJ Road. It's just the building that is in the town of Monroe with a small portion of the parking lot.
So I think one of my questions, though, because we're focusing on the building, but if I look at the town boundary, the cemetery itself is in the town.
A portion
So,
of the cemetery, yes.
so were there prior approvals for the portion that's in the town? Do we know?
I have no idea.
Maybe we could find out from Ben what's on
I think
record.
we checked, there is no records, at all on that in the town.
Okay. So if you're going to be here, you might as well get the whole thing approved, if it hasn't been approved, so just to get it taken care of.
Okay.
It would be useful to know how much of this is already, like I see the little cemetery headstones, are those paved cartways, et cetera, that's all in, you know what, let me go to your map.
Right, Bonnie, so I mean, if the project's already, I mean, it may be a pre-existing non-conforming, I don't know how long it's been existing. I mean, I don't think they're
The
interested.
cemetery was founded in 1979 when the Grand Rabbi, John
Okay.
Teitelbaum, passed away.
Right here?
He was the first. Yes.
It looks like it.
It's a little confusing because of the orientation of your map, but this is it, no?
You probably have to turn on the layers. The
Oh, this
property-
isn't your map, I don't think they have
They
layers.
have layers of
Do
property
they?
lines.
Which
Yeah.
layer?
It's under parcels, I believe.
Yeah, there should be a parcel layer.
On your map? Oh, maybe it's down here. Ah, awesome.
You don't want to know how deep this goes. The real layers that you can buy.
There we go. So it's all of this piece.
Yes.
Okay.
It's this portion.
Oh, your green line, okay.
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't know. I just think, do we know, I don't remember in this part of the town, are cemeteries allowed? They're,
I think, yes.
yeah? Let me bring up, your report.
Yeah, it's allowed as a special use in the district, I believe.
Okay. All right, so why don't you go through your comments, Matt?
Okay, yeah, number one, it just notes that it's in the SR10 district and the cemetery is allowed as a special use.
Is that a new letter?
Yeah, I'm sorry, that was just sent out yesterday, today,
You got that.
recently.
Do you have a copy of that?
Most of these are just general housekeeping on the plans. The planning board approval block needs to be in the lower right-hand corner of each sheet in the set. Plan sheet 1,
I have extras.
Plan sheet 1 just needs to contain a drawing index that identifies all the sheets in the plan set. Number 4,
I gave him one.
that's all right. Number 4, there's a space on sheet 1 for the record owner and applicant. That information just needs to be filled in. The adjoining property owners need to be identified on the plan sheet. The survey boundary is kind of tough to follow as to what the actual parcel bounds are. It appears some lines are labeled, some aren't. If we could just clean that up. And again, with comment 7, there are numerous line types on the plan. A legend would be helpful to follow and kind of identify what they are. Comment 8, proposed sewer lateral is now shown. It looks like the existing building's on a septic system that's going to be abandoned. The plan should just identify who owns the collection system it's connecting to.
Orange County Sewer District number 1, but we'll clarify that. Yeah.
Yep, just,
I'll make sure you're on the mic,
Yep,
Okay.
that's just some comments about the sewer lateral. Number 9, the short EAF, when that was completed, comes up that the area is designated as a sensitive or adjacent to sensitive archaeological sites. Based on the scope of the project, the board should just decide whether you want that followed up further with SHPO. This is an existing building, but it's,
I think we normally do part of the circulation.
okay. Okay,
It's done, it's checkbox.
so that can be done. Comment 10, just note that it appears the water service is from the village also. Clarify that. Comment 11, a lighting plan's been provided that indicates some wall packs. The photometric is provided to the side there. Just if you could add that to the plan so we can see where that actually falls. 12, I believe we'll need 239 review at some point. And 13, it's not clear if the parking spaces are existing, if they're going to be created, what's there. Just clarify that, and then the surface for them. I assume some work's going to be done when you're removing the septic. That's in the area of some of the parking. So just clarify that and provide the details for that.
The parking stays the way it is. I think the striping needs to be clarified, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Besides the proposal to connect to the sewer system and remove the septic, I don't think there's any proposed construction or on this site the way it is now, unless something major will come up.
Jeff, do you have a comment?
Well, most of the questions that I had were covered already. Is there access to the cemetery as well off of Raywood Drive? Or just Scunnamunk?
No, not from this cemetery. There's another cemetery in Raywood Drive.
Okay, that's a separate cemetery.
Actually, it's blocked off. There's no access. Political reasons. Next.
Oh, got it. That was my only other question.
I don't have any questions either.
The dead people also don't want to live together, so it's fine.
So, in terms of the special use, it actually doesn't look like there's much in the way of a standards for it. It's up there, no authorization for a building permit shall be granted by the planning board for a cemetery in any district or authorized unless the board shall first determine that such cemetery is appropriate to the character of the neighborhood, serve the interests of the residents of town without any damaging effect upon adjacent properties. From my perspective, to me, it would be good just to have the whole thing approved. Because there's not like there's special standards that you're suddenly going to have to address. And so why not just validate the whole thing?
Well, but what would that involve, Bonnie? Because I think,
Just a public hearing, that's it.
I think, we should talk after, but I mean, this is really just about one building, isn't it? Right now?
I would
This
just.
is really just about one building, so I was just questioning, I'm just repeating this so
Yeah.
no one gets it on the record. This is a cemetery that's been here, it sounds like, for 35 years, or I'm getting 45 years. So I don't know, I don't think they want to, or there's a need to reevaluate the whole thing.
For me, I think what we could do is see if there's anything on file. This may have been approved a long time ago and it's just a moot point, but you have a building for use that never got any approval. It's pre-existing. Why not just get a special use that says, check, you got the special use and it's done and it exists. And we wouldn't necessarily change anything with regard to what's there. It's just to say you have it and you're done and you're good. You know what I mean?
Well, the only thing, look, this is a new issue to me, but I know many municipal codes have a provision that if it's a pre-existing non-conforming use, you're deemed to have, and it's, becomes a required use, you're deemed to have the special permit.
I'd have to look at it.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
recall
Again, I don't
offhand.
have the Monroe Code memorized offhand, but.
Well, so let's focus on,
Again, I'm not concerned about a public hearing, it just procedure-wise,
Yeah,
much
yeah.
detailing, I will need to add, streamline. If we can have very simple, then no one has an issue, let's get this done the right way.
right. So getting back to seeker then, do you want us to just, there probably is enough here to go ahead and circulate. You gave us an SEAF?
Yeah, we received the EAF with the original submittal last year, I believe.
Oh, okay. So,
Curious to the planning board and. Well, I guess does the sewer, I'm wondering, sewer
want us to
district.
do do you want us to do coordinated? I mean, you wrote us a letter that you wanted coordinated. We could just do our approvals and let everybody
You
else.
know what, if it's a streamlined, simple process, let's get it done. I'm not looking directly to have it coordinated.
Okay, it's up to you.
If we have a simple process here, and everyone will work together.
Joel, so you're saying it's okay to do uncoordinated review if it's easier?
Yes.
Yeah, because then we just do our seeker, and then we don't have to get involved with the village.
It's up to you.
So then we only deal with,
Yeah, as long as we're.
As long as we say with whatever, unless he say there's other major concerns that he think will come up, if we stay with what we have in front of us, we'll correct the plans, we'll address the sewer, that's the main issue, and whatever.
let's find out if there's some kind of approval already. If not, maybe we just wrap up public hearing, special use, and then get the whole thing done. Because all we're trying to do, it's pre-existing, right?
Correct.
Were there any variances, anything needed in terms of the layout where the building is? Did you check
No,
standards?
I don't need anything, everything is good, everything is by code.
Okay, you didn't pick up any bulk?
Unless, I will point out something that will come up later. Again, the building is next to a property line, but is that a property line?
Say that again?
The building is next, I think that was raised at the first meeting.
Because it's the town boundary.
It's the town boundary line, but it's a joint property, but it's the town and the village boundary line. The question is the property line the boundary line, or the property line is we took a look at the whole cemetery? That was
For
raised at-
setbacks, you mean?
That was raised at.
Common ownership, right?
It's common ownership. I'm not sure if it's the same company, but whatever, they operate together, it's the same board.
When you say so common ownership,
It's all cemetery use.
yeah,
Yeah.
Right, I think the dimension shown is approximately 21 feet from the corner of the building to the municipal boundary. I didn't look at required setbacks for an accessory structure, but we could check that.
That might be.
right, because this would be accessory, it's not going to be, it's not the principal use, the cemetery is the principal use.
Yes.
So the
if
setback,
it's an accessory structure, then it might be that.
you're
it
probably,
complies.
you might be okay.
Right. I have to check on that.
So,
Yeah, that, I can look at that too, what the required setback for the accessory structure is.
so why don't we put you on for a workshop for next month? Make whatever changes you can. Let's figure out whether Ben has anything in his files for approvals, and then we can decide then whether it's just approving the site plan or whether you want to do a special use. We could talk about that some more, and then if so, we could schedule a public hearing.
Okay.
And for now, we're doing uncoordinated review.
Makes sense.
So who's going to be checking with the building inspector?
We'll ask Matt too.
I will.
Great, thank you.
Yep. And then we'll just make sure the application, everything, it's the people representing the cemetery signed the application. You have owner consent form,
I think we should
all of that.
Should have, yes. I think Joel Cohn. See where the application is.
Just make sure, we'll take a look, but we want to make sure that's up to date and that we have everything. Because that was submitted a while ago, right?
January of 2025, I believe.
Yeah. Scroll through this. It says owner's endorsements here.
Right. Bill Cohn.
Yeah, there is a owner's endorsement.
The person lives in Monticello, New York?
What?
The person who owns the cemetery, it's Joel
Cohn.
Cohn, okay.
He has a business in Monticello. I believe
has a
he
business in
lives,
Monticello,
I
yes.
believe he lives in the village here, though,
He
in
lives
KJ.
in the village and he has same business as me as a planner too.
The affidavit
Just different
says
spot.
that he resides at, but he
Oh.
doesn't live in Monticello, right?
No.
So maybe just check whether that has to be updated. Giving his address as Monticello,
I think that's his business address.
yeah. Like most everything there. So Joel Cohn how is he related to the KJ Cemetery?
The board members.
So he's a board member, okay. All right, okay.
I see that it's just listed as an address at Scunnamunk Road. Is there a number on Scunnamunk Road associated with the cemetery?
I think it's Terry.
I thought it was 30.
Yeah, if I remember, it's Terry. I think if you looked on the application or on the GIS.
The plan lists the property address as 30-34 Schoonamunk Road.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else, board members?
No.
Okay. So we'll talk to Ben, and then you'll get back on an agenda, make whatever cleanup items are needed, and then we could be at workshop.
Thank you very much.
All right?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
All right, next item on the agenda is Reisman, Paula Reisman?
Yes. So, Joel Mann, Bracheman Associates, behalf of the applicant, 249 Mountain View Drive, Monroe, New York. The SBL is section 43, block 5, lot 7. So, we are proposing to convert the existing single-family house into a duplex. Just to give history, the owner of this house died a couple years ago, left his widow living there. She want to have a kid live next to her. It's the typical mother and daughter, but we don't need to use that law. It's just we're doing it as a duplex. So the existing single-family house will be converted into a single one-bedroom house. You can see I submitted the plans. And I will point out why I'm pointing that out. Then we are adding another addition, whatever, I'm calling it single family, I think it's wrong. Probably say the duplex. So we are proposing to add an additional house for their kids. That will be a 3-bedroom house. The existing septic is designed for 4 bedrooms. We did an as-built. We have an engineer evaluating that, and I know that's one of the comments. We'll probably do a soil test to make sure that what's there is sufficient with the soil conditions for the septic field. We're utilizing the existing well, and I know we have 2 wells there, so we'll have to clarify which one is whatever is the one in use and make sure that we have the sufficient capacity. We did the shared driveway as required. We are following all the setbacks and trying as much not to disturb the existing character of the property.
So that's the house there?
Yes.
Across from, I don't think it's this one.
Yeah. No, it's across. So we're removing the existing garage there.
Okay,
And
garage is going. You have a very large tree there.
What?
You have a very large tree here.
Oh, yeah.
Are you taking that one out?
I actually ordered right now, an update, I've missed that I don't have the survey the trees, so I ordered the tree survey on the area that we need to so we should be able to give you which trees we're keeping, or maybe we'll work around with the driveway to try to save whatever we can save.
So this is the lot right now.
Yes.
Okay. And did you provide a site plan?
Yeah.
That's in there?
Should be one of the sheets.
Yeah, there's a separate, it's one plan sheet right now.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So it looks like you're extending it back, which is good.
Yep.
So in terms of those trees, it's really more about the driveway.
Right, so I will see if that's some way, yeah, I might rearrange the driveway, the parking, so. It's one of the reasons I was waiting for the tree survey. I'm waiting to see if the septic is okay, or we need to do something about it, because otherwise I have my clearing area, I know where I'm going to clear.
Right.
It's heavily vegetated and wooded. Every tree is costing a lot of, whatever, it's very expensive to survey trees, so I'm trying to save that.
So Matt did prepare a memo. Did you get a copy of that?
Yes.
Okay. So Matt, you want to go through your comments?
Sure. I think Joel has already touched on several of them in his presentation. This is located in the SR10 zoning district with the two-family overlay. Comment 2, I don't think we have an EAF yet for the project, so we'll need one of those. Comment 3, Joel already touched on. We'll need engineer certification for the well and septic for this. It sounds like he has that in the works. Comment 4, I think we went through this Thursday, but I did this comment letter prior to Thursday. So again, the comment with the lot area in the two-family overlay district. So I think we've got that one resolved. You can check that one off, Joel.
Okay, thank you.
Number 5, we just discussed a tree plan, which it sounds like that is ordered. Comment 6, on the site plan, when you've got things finalized, add the building height calculation.
Yep.
7, we talked about the well certification. Comment 8, landscaping plan, the need for that. So I think that will probably depend on what you're able to do with the driveway
Tree plans, so we'll
and the tree plan and the septic. Once we have the EAF, we'll have to discuss SECRA and the process with that. Again, 10, the need for a public hearing, which I think required. 11, once you've got your driveway configuration and your septic ironed out, just add the limits of disturbance to the tree plan. And then again, with comment 12, with the driveway and the parking spaces, once that's nailed down, by detail necessary. And then comment 13, on the architecturals, any exterior lighting and architectural details for the board to review and consider.
Again, some of my questions were answered by the narrative that you described as far as what's going on with the applicant and the why. I think in the new unit, what's labeled bedroom 4, it might be more clear if that was labeled master bedroom on the second floor there. I understand we're getting a a bedroom count between the two units, and now I understand why.
Yeah, the bedroom 4 is together with the whatever, with the 2 units. But
Right, but that, the
I will
use.
clarify that. so
Right.
I understand.
Um,
It's confusing.
I'm not positive, but I seem to remember something in relation to code. In the existing unit, where it's being converted to one bedroom for the purposes of the project, there's a playroom and a game room. But the playroom and the game room both have doors and closets.
So we remove the closet doors. If we need, we can remove the main doors of the rooms, but it's always 2 options, or you remove the
Right.
closet doors.
But am I correct that if it has doors and a closet, it has to be counted like a bedroom?
Yeah, but
And
if you remove the closet doors, you can still have like open shelving, that's allowed in the code.
I'll be talking to Ben, so
okay.
I'll ask Ben.
Yeah, let's just, because, I mean, that goes to septic capacity, obviously.
Yep.
Again,
And-
it's something that Ben will inspect and look before he's giving a CO.
Right,
Make
that,
sure that this is the purpose of the rooms.
that I'm certainly clear about. With the proposed parking spaces, I wasn't I know we have an issue around locating parking in the front yard setback. I didn't find an issue with that in relation to the side yard, so I don't think that's an issue. On the site plan, I see that the owner is listed as Joel, but on the application package, it's Paula. So just for consistency's sake, if I
I
understand.
will check it
Right.
out. Good catch.
That's everything I have so far.
So it looks like you have homework.
Yep, so we'll provide the EAF and address all the comments.
So 2 families, I think, aren't they type 2 actions?
Could be. I didn't have the list when I was running through that. Yeah.
I don't remember, so I know we've had subdivisions for 2 families which are not type. When you have a subdivision, that's not the unlisted action. But just the construction of a 2-family, I'm trying to remember how we deal with it. How Ashley's asked us to deal with it, because I thought it was a type 2.
Maybe just a building permit.
That it's not. What's another one that's been a 2-family lately?
I did a subdivision, but there was on the Raywood Drive.
Not a subdivision,
No,
just a
there was
house.
There was a Raywood Drive, 40, not 40, 30, 25, 20. Next to the cemetery, next to 37, one before 37 Raywood. They've just finishing construction.
24?
Maybe. No, there should be an odd number.
That was a site plan.
24, yeah, might be 24. Yeah, it should be 24.
Yeah, that was for a 2-family, so this will say how we dealt with it.
That looks like it was a type 2.
So because this is just the 2-family, we treat them as type 2, so that wouldn't be subject to seeker. So we don't have to worry about that.
Right, it does say in the law, construction or expansion of a single family, a 2-family, or a 3-family residence on an approved lot, including provisions necessary of utility connections,
Do you need to do a public hearing on that?
You're a special use permit as a 2-family, right? Yeah, so I think we need the public hearing at some point. So I would say submit the revisions. We definitely need the tree plan. And then that should go, he's not here anymore, right? On the Conservation Commission? Forward to them. Yeah, so,
Maybe it's small enough, not so much that you can handle by yourself, but whatever, we'll submit it, you will decide.
yeah.
And
So-
with that, you might be able to schedule a public hearing for the next meeting after that.
I think so. Let's try and, we can aim for that, but we'll need to find out about the septic, right?
I
Septic,
have the as-built that just will coordinate. I don't think we can do a test now.
okay.
It's very hard. Depends if there's another snow coming next Sunday, so I'm not sure.
Probably the utilities and then the trees are the
Yes.
primary, right? Utilities and trees?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That takes care of that one.
Thank you very much.
And do we have another one for you?
No, I'm done
You're done? Oh, my goodness.
for now.
All right.
It's
Well,
coincidentally, the next project, the Golden Delight, is actually the same owner owned the bakery when he was, now it's its kids.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So it's
Small world.
small world, yeah. Thank you. Yep.
Someone's setting it up, and I'm like, I don't recognize this guy.
Which guy?
There was a gentleman here earlier that put stuff on the countertop.
Oh, yeah? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, laser from my office?
Yeah, Yiddy called me earlier.
Okay. I don't know.
I thought you knew.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
I don't know what's there. He
I don't know.
didn't say anything. He was there and then he was gone.
Text, now I see there's a text something, okay. I didn't know that. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night. All right, next item on the agenda, I think our agenda's over, right? We're done for the night?
Yep.
Oh, wait, Golden Delight. John's like, good, I can go home.
I wanted to go home before we started.
All right, so, tell us your woes.
I don't know if I have a lot of woes tonight, no. Good evening, for the record, John Queen with Lankin Tully, for the applicant. We were before you a few months ago with Golden Delight Bakery. We had some conversations regarding the final approval resolution and a potential amendment to the resolution based upon the county sewer conditions for that. At the time, we had still outstanding conditions to fulfill. The board had said, come back when you've fulfilled most or all of them. I believe we're at that point that we have checked off, I think, pretty much all of the other conditions. Matt will chime in on when he needs, but I think the last two remaining conditions deal with the county sewer now, which is specifically 3 and I believe 7. I think everything else has been satisfied, even up to, I guess, sometime today, the water agreement with the village has been addressed.
So that was executed, we received that earlier, and it has been recorded in the county clerk's office.
Correct.
So that was taken care of. So sewers, I know you've had a discussion with Matt. Matt tried to reach out to the county, couldn't get hold of,
Anthony Griffin,
and so you both had to
We did,
come up with some.
yes.
Drafted first amended resolution of approval for Golden Delight Baking, Inc. My question is, how do we change this language? So I highlighted the two conditions that appear to address the sewer. So one is, prior to the issuance of a building permit, applicant shall provide the building department with written approval from the Orange County Department of Public Works for the sewer lateral to the existing Orange County Sewer District Number 1 collection system within Old County Road. Prior to the issuance of the C of O, existing on-site sewage disposal system shall be decommissioned, including the removal of existing septic tanks, removal of existing distribution boxes. A letter signed and sealed by a professional engineer shall be submitted to the building department certifying that the septic system decommissioning was performed to their satisfaction. So,
And then
what's the workaround? Oh, is there another?
there's another ties to the easement for the sewer lateral. And I believe, I know it is number 3,
It's 3?
yes.
right, specifically pertains to the sewer easement, which John had sent me that plan and description, which we've reviewed, and that appears to be fine.
But that's something that can be done. That's not something that has to be amended, or does?
We don't want to file it until the county approves where the lateral goes, because if there's any changes,
Then you have to change.
we have to refile it again. And going back to the owner is always an adventure.
And that says prior to the signing of the plans.
Correct.
So how difficult would it be to put the easement on, show it in some way, if you really did have to come back? That would just be a site plan amendment?
So we have the easement prepared now. We just don't want to officially file it in the county until the county approves the route for the sewer. Because if it changes for whatever reason, maybe we find a utility, maybe the county doesn't like the route, they want to move it 10 feet left, 10 feet right, we have to do the whole thing over again. So that's my hesitation with filing it, and I need to get the map signed.
So what then, okay, so with all of this, because it's a matter of timing, what's the workaround?
So I think 3 also gets tied to, I have different numbers, but maybe I think it was 7, 6. So it would be, when we were talking about 18 months, I think, or something to that effect, when county approval was obtained.
So after the county approval being obtained, within a certain time period, whatever, 6 months, a year, whatever
Yeah.
We pick, the easements filed, the lateral is installed, and the existing system is properly decommissioned and certified by a professional engineer.
And the fail-safe to that is the county will not approve the sewer lateral without the final easement being filed. So it's like a check. In order for us to get the county permit, we'll have to file the easement. And then at that point in time, the county will have reviewed and approved the route. And then in order to get the physical permit, we file the easement.
My question is, what gets you back to the board? So what's going to make sure that you continue to pursue getting the lateral? Instead of just continuing septic?
Well, it's on the site plan, and it is a condition of approval. It's just what threshold is the trigger? Because right now, county laterals are running anywhere between 18 and 24 months.
Yeah, no, I'm,
If
yeah,
you're lucky.
I understand that.
And I understand where you're coming from is
I'm just trying
what's
to
the
figure out
motivation?
how are we gonna get you back in once you have your C of O, because you'll have a building permit, you'll have a C of O, you're on a sewer, what gives,
I mean, I don't know if Ben is comfortable with TCOs. I mean, that's up to him.
Has issued them in the past, TCOs, for commercial projects. Another thing John and I talked about was, the whole point here is to make sure that the wastewater generated by the occupants is being properly treated, and having, his office at some interval or some frequency go out, inspect the existing system, and then provide certification to Ben that it is functioning properly, and continue to do that until such time as they're connected to the sewer district with a lateral. So that would be, I guess, an enforcement responsibility for Ben to make sure that, hey, on November 1, they were supposed to submit this. Now I send them a notice. There's
so,
an option like that.
so I started the amended resolution in the event we had something concrete to set up here as an alternative. So first, let me ask this, Planning Board, are you okay with allowing them to move forward, recognizing that the county's very slow with these approvals, so long as there's some kind of measure to get them back in? Or what are your thoughts on this?
And if I could just one more thing, the property has a functioning septic, so it's not like it's in, failing disrepair state. And when we had done that, we had given you a report about that when we started this process, and we had the tank pumped and evaluated. So keep that in mind, that it does have a functioning septic system at this point. So,
EPA did provide me, I think when this topic first came up, with maintenance records for it, showing that, the septic tank is pumped. I don't remember off the top of my head at what interval it was, but you provided me with at least a few of those records, so it is being maintained.
I just
And
wanted,
it's an existing building, we're not adding anything to the building. This has been going on for 20 years, 25 years, nothing has been changed since.
Yeah, I think it's just, again, is the board okay with the changes? But then I don't know that we have the language for this evening to figure out how to address this. So I think first is there a willingness to make the change?
So we had talked about this earlier in the application process before the conditional approval. And basically my understanding is we need the sewer to go forward, but that's what the owner ultimately desires for
He
his
definitely
property,
wants that
right?
sewer.
So, because of that, I'm somewhat comfortable in modifying this so that things can move forward. I think we want the improvements on the site. We want the violations cleaned up, and yes, as long as we can put some sort of check and balance on keeping the owner moving towards their goal, I'd be comfortable with that.
Curtis, any thoughts, or?
I mean, it makes sense, but like you said, there's no forcing function other than desire for this thing. So everyone's in agreement, but there's no mechanism to check on
well,
it.
So we all agree that
I
we're
look at it,
willing to
though-
do this, so now we need verbiage.
I look at it though as any other condition of approval that is on the map. I mean, hours of operation, if you put hours of operation on the map, it gets enforced by the building department. So, I mean, we could add a note to the map to the effect that, the applicant has to show due diligence to the building department every 6 months or so, that he's actively pursuing said sewer connection, and if not, he would return back to the planning board for amended approval or
Is
something.
it an application? Is there a formal application?
It's already been submitted.
Okay, and
Submitted, I
and
have
when
been-
was it submitted?
I've been calling them on a
I'm
monthly.
gonna say
a year ago.
Has it been a year? I was
Yeah,
gonna say
yeah,
8
yeah,
months.
yeah. I called them and the same answer, James. We'll take, when it comes to your time, we'll review it. There's no capacity, there's everything.
So why don't we do this? We don't have the language for this. We're all fine with making the change. So why don't, between now and the next meeting, we draft how this is going to be revised? The good news is, hopefully March, Ashley comes back. That's what she expressed to me. Okay, so alternatively, we'll work up the language. So we could put you on,
St. Patrick's Day.
I don't know if you want to be on St. Patrick's Day. Do you
I
really
want to
wanna
pass
be?
on that one.
Is St. Patrick's workshop or regular?
That's the
Regular.
regular meeting.
Regular.
Our workshop
Is the 12th.
yeah.
You want to,
Both.
we could put them on the 12th.
Okay.
Do you want to be on the 12th?
That
That's a
works.
Thursday, the
Yeah.
second Thursday.
That works.
Okay?
That gives us 3 weeks to work on the language.
Yeah, so let's do that,
Okay,
okay?
thank you. Now, do we need another extension? Because I think it's this month.
Already expired. Tomorrow?
Actually,
No,
I
no,
believe
last Friday. You're right.
So, but the reality is, we're going to be amending the resolution, so that's going to be a reapproval, right?
Yeah.
You're not an attorney?
No,
I
it
don't-
is correct. You're going to have to approve the amended resolution again, so essentially, yes,
That's going to start time clock.
you'd be reapproving it.
At that time, I think
So, because you're expired now, so it doesn't,
right after a second.
So if you already are expired, then we're going to be taking this up at the next meeting. And the only question is, are there any fees or anything that has to be done, or we just reapprove it? And I'm going to leave that to Noreen. Okay? But when we reapprove it, it's reapproved.
And I can bring the maps, so we can sign it at the next meeting.
Yeah, nope, we don't sign plans at
No.
Try that.
Because we stamp every sheet, and that would take forever.
So, yeah,
Well, he
essentially.
better have the approval box with all my information, or he won't get them
And
signed.
all in the same place.
Lower right-hand corner.
Yes, thank you.
So it would be a reapplication, a reaffirmation of seeker, waiving of the public hearing, and then reapproval?
I'd have to look at, what did we do for secret here? Because this was a reuse, already existing. Did we do an unlisted on this?
I believe we did, yes, because it was over the 4,000
Nope,
square feet.
type 2.
I'm not sure, the actual approval of this one predates my time here.
This was type 2.
Okay, I'll go with that.
So,
Takes that off the table.
yeah, because the last version of this I had was from February 2025. So let's get back on the agenda on the 12th.
Okay.
We'll work out the language and what's the hook to keep you in front of us for making sure the lateral happens. Okay?
Yep.
All right.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Friday, Mr. Lipa.
As supervisor, would you like to bring up anything with us since you're sitting in here? No?
Joel forgot his papers. I just saw those.
Just two things to put on the record to address for the residents who were concerned earlier about the village versus town boundaries. I went out in the hallway and addressed them, but I'll put it on the public record as well. So if anybody is having any coordination issues, I'm happy to volunteer to, just forward the complaints either obviously to you, but emailing me, and then I will be happy to reach out with any village entity or any other outside entity that I need to coordinate those concerns. And I was also speaking with Joel Mann about maximum screening, and then if we need to do anything to adjust, to allow, as you guys were discussing, to grade the terrain down and modify the height maximums for that area. If we could be of assistance at the town board level with anything that would actually, in the end, be less intrusive on the residents, but isn't actually written in our code, just let us know. So we're here as a resource for that. And then I just was questioning because the building is already built for the KJ Cemetery, what exactly will happen when we put on the public hearing, as probably should have been done before we realized this was an error. If residents come, give feedback and concerns, how would we technically address those concerns? Because the structure is already existing.
It's there, and so in as much as people may have comments, it's an existing building, it's a maintenance building, it's an accessory building. It's already a cemetery, so I think,
It would
I don't know,
ultimately depend on what the comments are, but
I don't know who would come out. Do you
Yeah,
think
I
there
just
are
wanted
some
to
people?
No. I said, listen, I think to put on the record that this is, just something procedurally that we're doing to make sure everything is safe. If something egregious pops up, we will do everything to correct it. But this was an error, and this is something that, if there are major concerns, we can only address what we can address, and, it's not like we can dig everybody up and move them.
And the cemetery is allowed.
Yes.
That's the bottom line. It is pre-existing, it's been there. I don't know if they got approvals or not, but
I'll ask the question.
you'll find out.
Yep.
But to me, it's there, and this puts them in the realm of it being legal, if there isn't a special use or something, right?
Right.
And then the building's there.
Yeah.
And,
Maybe you could
and it
add
was,
some
it was,
screening
everybody
or
thought
some
that,
exterior improvements, but
everybody thought it was in Carious Joel. So, surprise, it ended up being in the town.
Exactly, so just making sure that it's used for what it's, saying it's used for. Has Ben done his walkthrough yet, or are we waiting? We've just referred the whole process to the planning board. Where do we land for inspecting the interior?
My understanding was it was because of a violation that it ended up here, so that they could
Right.
get their site plan approval. Perhaps you can find out if Ben's done a walkthrough. Is there any concerns with the building? Because it was using as for buses, I guess, and just offices. And so they had to relocate because that wasn't allowed there. So now I believe it's just it's supposed to be used for the cemetery.
which is allowed, so, yeah,
Correct.
I'll ask. I'm not familiar off the top of my head with what the origins of this were and what directed them here.
Right, this probably
But
came in during Sean.
I've got a couple questions for Ben, so we'll have that discussion too.
Okay, yeah.
And see what that
So
turns to.
from our end, we had a meeting with Joel Mann and some other representatives of the cemetery. We were unable to contact the individual who was listed in the original file, like a PO box was mislabeled, so Ben, our building inspector, had been sending out violation notices when he realized that the building was not approved and permitted, and that it was within the town of Monroe boundaries. So when it came in, we just addressed it right away, reached out to Joel Mann and said, who is this? We need to speak with them and make sure that this is safe, that it's being used for what it's saying it's used for. We were told that the buses actually weren't operating out of that facility, that it was just parking and using the bathroom. So hopefully, I think we'll coordinate with the building inspector and just make sure that everything is where it says it is. And it seems that it was built pretty much according to code, but he'll do his interior walkthrough. I just didn't know if that came before or after your public hearing. And
I think so the public hearing's we can have a public hearing on a site plan, never mind the special use. My thought is just, why not legitimize the use in the event that
Whole thing out there.
right, and that in the event that it doesn't have. Plus, once there's a special use in a site plan, if they make further revisions, they have to come back here. That's all built into the process.
Right, modifications to the site plan.
Right, there's a stream there, we really don't want them going farther, because I think it might have been regulated, maybe it wasn't. But I think we can catch up with Ben to see where he is with all of that. Because they kind of went away for a while, so this is just being reintroduced again to us.
Correct.
And as
Like
far
a
as
little
walking them through the planning board process, like for cemeteries specifically and accessories buildings, is there a landscaping plan that's going to be extensive for them, or because it's like largely allowed to be cleared for grave sites and such? Yeah.
But there is a cemetery section in the code, but I don't know if it's for town cemeteries or if it's for cemeteries in general, separate and apart from zoning.
I think they were just concerned that they don't want to
Go down
expense a ton of money for like a landscaping
Yeah.
plan for a cemetery.
We
when-
haven't even talked about it.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think for our process, we were just dealing with the site plan, getting it approved. Lighting, we want to make sure it's not excessive if they're showing lighting.
Yeah, just show the basic elements that are required in a site plan.
Okay, sounds good. Just making sure that everything's up to snuff. And again, if anybody has any concerns about any of the projects on the docket and wants to reach out to me, they can always email me or call my office. It's on the website. And then you guys, it's the same thing if you need or have any, like if there's something that's prohibitive in the code now, as I thought I had heard, maybe we can take a look at it. I don't know if that would technically extend the process out, but it might be better in the end for those residents so that we can set that one particular house that was only, I think, 30
It is,
feet.
it's only the one.
Yeah.
That's concerning. And it makes me crazy, but it's just the stormwater regulations. They are what they are, and they end up taking up a lot of land and a lot of disturbance to put in the stormwater. And I wish there was a different way. Since you're here, the board should be aware, I don't think we talked about it, but there was an Article 78 served for Pilati Village. So that has to be responded to, I believe, by March 9th.
Yes.
and I believe Adam Rod is going to, or one of his associates at the firm will represent us,
Yes.
so that we're responding to the Article 78. I suspect, I have no idea, but I suspect ultimately this is just a process, based on my discussions with John Ebert, that they just have to do this to preserve their rights, and then I think they want to come back in potentially for something different, but ultimately, we know they have to go back to the town board for any changes to their master development plan. And then we're involved in the site plan review process, so it's going to be both the town board and the planning board involved if there are changes to this overall project, but just so that the planning board knows there is an Article 78. I am on the ZBA's docket next week for the bus site, so Matt has some information for me there, and that's kind of it right now with our planning board.
Yeah, just to like respond to some of that, it's just that when Ashley went on maternity leave, I don't recall that the town board actually formally passed a resolution designating who her replacement would be for you guys, but you obviously are entitled to legal defense and assistance in your normal like day-to-day, so we have no problem. In fact, we like having Adam Rod, so it's just a matter of procedurally, like, I've spoken with members of the board and they're okay allowing it to go through before our next meeting, signing with him and just putting the resolution through at the next meeting, but just to expedite the process at the discretion of the supervisor because you're entitled to it by law.
Okay.
So just speeding up that process and having Adam continue working on that.
Perfect.
And then with Pilati Village, I had a meeting even before January that they were concerned that, the process was confusing for CCR, that they'd been, back and forth changing, from our perspective, the fundamental use was supposed to be for seniors, and we had deep concerns about that. And then when all was said and done, they did not meet that deadline. What is the term for that, Noreen? The deadline for renewal? That they were supposed to file paperwork by.
File for an extension.
An extension for the zoning, because they, with the CCR zoning that we all know and love, this was the first example of that, and we've discussed that maybe it shouldn't be that because you need certain categories, thresholds being met, and they are not able to meet that. So it can't be a senior development because of grant restrictions from the state, and so things shifted on them, and they did not file for the extension. They did not break ground with that zoning, so technically I believe, and you believe, that they are not eligible for that overlay. But then we have to weigh the reality that, what is going to happen with this land if we don't allow, reasonable development by this developer who is, by all intents and purposes, trying to provide something for the community. They have offered, just as any other development has to give the town of Monroe, incentives such as donations to the ambulance and parkland, and I think both of our conversations we've discussed actually getting the north side completely donated as open space.
Something that they've been contemplating, or potentially getting, let's say, additional story or whatever on the other side.
It could be an additional story, but then you and I spoke in kind of like an informal tech meeting with Louis Rivera as well, and if they're donating the entire half of that road, you were more open to taking a look at another building, I believe, just to see which made more sense. Because if they're doing another floor, we might have to raise or get a variance, and I don't know if it's possible for just that section for the heights, maximum heights, and we don't want to affect Monroe zoning overall. So it's an interesting conundrum of allowing something that will facilitate a lot of open space and parkland and a benefit monetarily to the town and actual senior housing, as well as lower income housing if it's done appropriately. So they've been responsive into what we have suggested. It's just a matter of having those tech sessions and actually hammering out what is possible, and then,
There haven't been tech sessions at this point. Again, the CCR is the town board's discretion. In December, what happened was essentially all the approvals had expired. And we went through it, we looked at it, we didn't extend it because we didn't think we could extend it because of the zoning having been, especially because it had lapsed. So at this point, they would have to amend the final development plan, and the process is they go to the town board, they ask for this revised zoning amendment. It has to come to us for review for our recommendation, goes back to you as a board, town board. You would, if you adopted, then we get into the site plan again. But certainly, if the town board wants to hold some kind of tech sessions with the planning board or members of each of the boards to hash out what might be, something that the town would favor in meeting its objectives, then, that could be determined, it would help to determine that in advance. And I think who is involved in all of that will evolve through the process. But before we even get there, we just have to do our Article 78 and make our,
I think they're
make our
open, I don't
response.
know, to like, with the 78, I know it's a quick timeline, but they have openly suggested that it's to preserve their rights, to let us know that they're here, they're still interested in developing, and that they are receptive to a settlement, right, of it. So I just want to make sure that we reach out to them soon as well to inquire about the timeline, because if we can get into settlement tech talks now, and I've told everyone this, I'm flat out not interested in the current version of CCR, and I think it was a mistake to lay that overlay, so it is in my interest that they did not follow those procedures. It's not only complicated, it's convoluted, and in the end, exploitative. So, it needs to be modified, so it would be a headache for the town if we allowed this first example to actually go through. So it would be ideal if it could be a clustered development or any other type of zoning, because I'm not interested in having this set a precedent for that zoning. The town already paid a $20 million settlement, and we don't need to have an additional cost of exploitation of land use that wouldn't have been able to be built on by having the actual CCR remain on the books, because that was part of the settlement. So we don't need to pay twice. So they're aware of that. They're aware that we would like more open space. We would like the north side, and they've been receptive to talks. But again, it seems like we have to get, a plan of what the town, like you said, would favor, and go back to see what zoning could be possible. Yeah.
So I think that's forthcoming, and whoever wants to participate, let us know. We haven't established anything, but again, the more critical thing right now is just responding to the Article 78 to kind of then put things in abeyance until we can come up with a plan of what the town really wants, and hopefully everything's amenable to the developer as well.
They just need their base unit number and then a couple of other assurances, I believe, and if we could come to that, I think Adam should inquire about pausing the timeline for those talks if that's possible, so we'll talk to him.
I thinking about possible options. One of the things that we ran into on the south side, provisions for the parking on what was already being proposed. And we were pretty close to, I forget whether it was...
By the big building or the other side?
Yes, by the big building.
Okay.
Whether it was a lot coverage issue or a combination of where the wetlands are located and what the stormwater mitigations were that sort of limited, because at one point he had to, I know he had to look at adding a few parking spaces, and it was questionable whether there was even room to do that within.
Was it because it was required parking, or was it because it was necessary parking? Like, did we say
Oh,
we
you and I
needed
could
it?
have a long conversation about what those terms mean.
Like,
Required,
okay, so that, they were
required.
actually talking about.
However-
You've jogged my memory, reducing parking coverage with that zoning because it's like unnecessary, so why are we creating
And
parking spots?
I'd love
and
to
lot
have that
coverage?
conversation.
Yeah.
That's a bugaboo of mine, in our code, but,
And we do allow reductions in other zones, but I don't know that that can occur in the CCR.
I don't know that it can either, but I know that it came up. So
Yeah.
I just, since you're thinking about next steps, I just wanted to throw that out there because I don't want you to come up with a solution that has a built-in obstacle to it.
I think every solution we're gonna come up with has a built-in obstacle here.
Granted.
We're basically going to craft something that the town of Monroe actually wants to see here, and then, write the code based off of that use case and fix CCR because it's a mess for a lot of reasons. I think it was good for, settling that lawsuit, but that happened twice. We don't need it.
So I think, again, once things are in abeyance, and to that point, it may be that the CCR goes away, and then you just craft zoning that's specific for this project.
Yeah.
And for these properties, and then that's the end of CCR.
We were talking about doing an additional, senior housing overlay or something like that. Yeah. Okay. Can you solve other problems? I've got to go.
What do you got?
Jeff may be able to.
We're
We'll
willing
be
to
here till
try.
midnight. All right, thank you guys, that was good.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. All right, so we have one set of minutes. Did you reformat those? Do you remember? Yeah, I wasn't gonna act on them, but they just need to be reformatted. I don't recall if you sent them. But I did go through January 8th, and all three of us were there. Matt, real quick, since you're here. We were talking about, this was under, Owen. And a couple of comments on the SWIP. The outlet structure on 3SP is modeled as one height, blah, blah, blah. On the erosion control plans, they need to identify concrete washout areas for each lot for when they're, do you think you have an idea what you might have said?
Concrete washout areas, when they're cleaning concrete trucks, essentially.
When they're cleaning,
Yeah, the purpose of those is, after they've poured the concrete, they wash the trucks down.
okay,
There's a spot that they dump that, so it's contained, let it harden, de-water, then they should clean it up and dispose of it. Yep.
perfect. So, thank you for being here. So I had some minor revisions to these minutes, so Ashley wasn't here.
Automatic in this.
Yeah. Just some minor nits, so nothing substantive. So I would make a motion that we approve the January 2026 minutes, subject to the revisions that I made. May I have a second?
Second.
Noreen? Aye.
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 Okay, so with that, those minutes passed, so now we're down to 2. And I'll make a motion that we adjourn this meeting. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions? Any nays? Motion carries.